The next Monster Hunter is no longer a dream, it's finally a reality, with Monster Hunter Wilds finally revealed during the Game Awards, and there's quite a bit to unpack. First of all, it is Capcom's first actual next-gen game, as it's only releasing on PS5, Xbox One, and surprisingly, Steam and PC, so it looks like we're finally getting a Monster Hunter game releasing on PC on day one. Hopefully that means we can get actual crossplay as well. But just off of this short little teaser, this game is gonna change everything we know about Monster Hunter, and it looks like they're going even bigger and badder than their previous titles, which is a good thing. For one, the environment looks to be more full of life and actually have kind of more character. Like, the ecosystem seems to be more in depth and detailed. You can see lightning hitting the floor and even some animals, so that seems to be something carried on from Breath of the Wild's environment, which is really cool. I like how the weather in that game really affected the gameplay. You can see sand dunes and storms going on while you're getting chased, and it seems like we're riding a bird-like creature similar to that of a chocobo, which actually really is dope because you can fly around with it, you can jump around. It really reminds me of FF7 Rebirth, so that is really cool, and I cannot wait to play with that. Seeing just how cool and fun the Palamutes were during Monster Hunter Rise, it's definitely going to be very fun. Now, I could be wrong here, but the game seems to be a bit more open world, which is actually the natural evolution for the Monster Hunter franchise. As we've seen with the zones were more connected throughout the games and the quality of life was a lot better, the next real big step was making all the zones into one huge map. Now, how that's gonna work, I'm not entirely sure. Maybe we'll have a hub in a corner of the map, and then you can just leave the village or wherever we stay at, and you can just explore the entire world of Monster Hunter this time around, which is really cool. The desert, the volcano, the icelands could be all connected in one giant ass map, and you can have little camps in each of these sections. Or I can see the hub being separate like in Monster Hunter World and Rise, but then when you get to the actual hunting, all of the maps are in one place, would be very interesting, but very difficult because that'd be a very large map. Maybe I could be wrong and that we usually get the typical zones, but they're going to be a lot more larger and a lot more interconnected. But either way, this game seems to be a lot more immersive this time around, which is always a good thing. That has always been one of the selling points of Monster Hunter, especially Monster Hunter World. And Rise was a very great game with probably the best gameplay in the series, so I hope they lean on to that even more so in this game and add more depth into the combat. Maybe adding finisher moves, maybe even adding a new weapon. A lot of people have been asking for this. It may be a boomerang, bring back the tonfas, a sickle and chain, an axe. There's so many ideas that they could bring into this game, and I think that would really spice up the combat of Monster Hunter and make it even more in depth. We're definitely gonna get a new gimmick this time around. I really love the one from Rise because it adds so much more mobility to your character. I know this is a pipe dream, but I would love for them to expand on the co-op and multiplayer, have us playing with even more people. This has always been a dream of mine. They kind of teased us with Monster Hunter World with the sieges and the raids where we get to play with 3 other teams, 16 players in total, but we never get to interact or see them. How awesome would it be to go on a hunt with like 8 people, 16 people for like one specific raid, maybe for a giant monster, like some sort of special event? That'd be so awesome. They did this in Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, where they added the update where you can play offline but with actual NPCs where they can join you on the hunt, kind of giving you that multiplayer feel but you're offline. And I hope they keep that around because that was really fun and very creative for us to get more closer to the NPCs and give them more character while also having them help us out with some hunts, because sometimes playing by yourself is pretty lonely and sometimes even boring. And speaking of new, what monsters could we expect in this game? We unfortunately didn't get to see what the flagship is, but based off of the logo, it seems like we might be getting a snake, maybe even 2, which is dope because snake wyverns are definitely one of my favorite monsters to hunt, and it sucks that they don't get as much love as other monsters, and hopefully that means we can even get Dalamandur to return to the game. He is a phenomenal boss, one of the best in the entire franchise. Many fans have been wanting him to return to the game because he really is such a spectacle, especially if you put him into modern day and next gen. That boss would be absolutely incredible and would be talked about for the ages. But you can also see that there's 4 circles around the logo that also resemble snakes or wyverns, so we might be getting 6 flagships, which is nuts. but I do expect to see a lot of snake wyverns in this game to make an appearance, which is always a good thing. Could we actually get water combat for the first time since Monster Hunter 3? Maybe. I think they've definitely gotten better over time that they can make it work in modern and next gen, so I think that'd be really fun. Hopefully they don't make it as slow and cumbersome as Monster Hunter 3, but water combat has always been really fun to me personally. We're obviously gonna get some fan favorites and classic monsters such as Zinogre, Raytheon, Rathalos, Brachydios, Rajang, you know the list. Diablos and that bastard Devil Joe is gonna be such a menace. I'm already scared to hear their music midway into a hunt that has nothing to do with them. I hope we get some really good end game content with this next installment, because I don't know how other people feel. This might be a hot take, but I wasn't the biggest fan of the end game in Monster Hunter Rise. It was cool, but it didn't make me feel that immersed with the game anymore. And I do think this is a problem sometimes with Monster Hunter games. The end game isn't the best sometimes until the sunset of the game, where they're finally finishing up and all this new content is there. Hopefully in launch we can get a significant amount of end game content to play, so we have stuff to do off rip. I could be wrong here, but I'm definitely getting Horizon and Breath of the Wild type vibes with this game, especially if it really is open world. An open world Monster Hunter game would be one of the greatest things to ever exist. But based off this little teaser, this game is looking to be even more immersive than ever before, which is always a good thing. The environment seems to be just as much as a challenge as the monsters themselves. But that's about it for the video. I'm extremely excited for the next Monster Hunter game. Unfortunately, it comes out in 2025. Hopefully it comes out in early 2025. Monster Hunter is one of my favorite franchises ever and my second favorite in all of Capcom. I've been playing since Monster Hunter 3, so of course I'm extremely excited. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of Monster Hunter Wilds. What do you expect to see? What monsters do you want? What new monsters would you like to see? What animals would you like to see represented? Which old monsters would you like to see come back? Hope your butt cheeks are clenched. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back with another hunt. I hope you guys have a good day and a good night. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.